Hey guys, Josh Hatcher here. Welcome to the Manlihood ManCast. Man, I am so glad you are here today. This is Season 3. Haha, yes. We are walking into 2020 with guns blaring, and I am so pumped about it. Listen, I want you to make this the best year ever, so please check out Change Your Life in a Year. It is my resource to help you set goals and achieve those goals. So check it out in the show notes. There's a link there. There's going to be more coming. So stay tuned because I've got so much to give you and so much to bring you. It's awesome. Guys, today's topic is this. Manhood is not automatic. Does that mean it's standard? No, it means it doesn't just happen. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. So guys, listen, we know that manhood is not automatic. You don't just turn 18 and become a man. You don't just grow up and all of a sudden you're a man. It's something you have to develop. It's something you have to learn. It's something that sometimes needs to be modeled for you. Let's talk about what has to happen in order for you to become a man. First of all, you need mentoring. You need somebody who can come alongside you and say, whoa, hey man, let's do this the right way. And for a lot of us, and this is not everybody, honestly, it's probably about half. It's our father. It's what our father does. He mentors us. He teaches us what it means to be a man. If you don't have a father that has taught you that, maybe a teacher or a pastor or a grandfather or an uncle, maybe someone else has taught you. Or maybe you've had to learn it on your own. And that's a lot harder, but it can be done. Mentorship for you might look different. There's somebody that you look to as a father figure or an example, whether it's someone in a book or a character on TV. Hopefully you've delved in deeper and you're not just kind of trying to be mentored by Cliff Huxtable, but you're trying to learn it. Okay, that's got to happen. But manhood is not automatic. So if you've got a son or a young man in your life that you're trying to help teach to be a man, you have to mentor them. Okay, so not only do you have to be mentored to learn, but you've got a mentor to teach. The other thing is modeling, and this is, again, a little different than mentoring. Mentoring is more direct, where you're directly trying to teach and shape somebody. Modeling is where the example is being set for you, and you're observing it, whether the other person knows it or not. This is more like that. You're seeing what you want to see in a man, and you're learning from it. So, again, we have a culture that has kind of been raised by TV, which doesn't help. We might think, well, I want to be a dad like the dad on The Middle, or like Cliff Huxtable, or whoever, or whatever it is that you're learning from. We're seeing manhood modeled for us. I want to be a dad like the dad down the street that takes his kids to Disneyland, maybe is the thing that you say. But whatever it is, guys, someone has modeled what manhood is supposed to look like for us. I would say if we're struggling to be what we want to be, we need to research and find better mentors and better models. If we're trying to raise a boy into a man, we need to be a good mentor. We need to be a good model. And the other thing is reinforcing. This is those principles, those tenets of manhood, those disciplines, those things that we learn because we learn them over and over again. If you're trying to teach your son to be a man, you're going to tell him things more than once. You're going to have to tell him to take responsibility. I can't tell you how many times my father told me, Josh, you need to take responsibility for your own actions. A lot. He told me that a lot. And it took a long time for that reinforcement to sink in. I know you guys know that's true, right? The same as we're trying to teach our kids, and the same is as we are learning it as well. You don't just hear it once. You're not just going to read one book and know what it means to be a man. You've got to dig in. You've got to dig into this. And you have to hear it repeatedly and over again. Just like if you're training at the gym, right? More reps makes you stronger. So I guess that's my challenge. My thing for you guys to think of, guys, is that manhood is not automatic, right? It doesn't just happen. In order for it to happen, there has to be mentoring and modeling and reinforcing. So if you've got a young man you're trying to teach to be a man, Keep those things in mind, and as we learn to be men, no matter what stage we are, whether we're 80 and we think we know it all, we can still be mentored. We can still have it modeled for us. We can still reinforce the things that we need to believe and the things that we need to know and the ways that we need to act, right? All right, guys. Hey, we'll be back in just a minute with our Ask a Man segment right here on the Manlihood ManCast. Hey, welcome back to the Manlihood ManCast. I'm Josh Hatcher. Listen, this is the segment of our show where we can ask a man. So if you want to ask me a question, all you got to do is shoot it to me in a message. I'll either answer it directly on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or YouTube. I'll answer it on some of those places, or we'll feature it on the podcast, or we can talk about it in the Manlihood Man Cave on Facebook. Just join that group if you're a man, and we can get to it. You don't have to be a man to ask me a question, though. Anybody can ask, and I'll try to answer it. Keep it centered around something that I think might be relevant, either about men or to men, hopefully. Today's question, ask a man. My wife says she wants a divorce. I don't want a divorce. What should I do? Yikes. That is heavy. It really is. First of all, nobody gets married saying, I hope we get a divorce. Nobody gets married hoping that. Nobody gets married and says, till death do us part, thinking, I hope in 2 years she has an affair and we break up. Nope, nobody says that. Nobody wants that. We want a marriage to stay together. If she says she wants a divorce, first of all, it doesn't mean it's over yet, but it does mean it's time to work on things. Actually, it might be too late to work on things. I want to make that clear. It might be. But it's definitely an opportunity to sit down and talk. It's definitely an opportunity for you to stop and evaluate and look at yourself. Could it all be her fault? Yes, it could be, but most likely, whatever led you to this position, both of you were involved with. And you will not succeed through this unless you commit to this one thing, okay? Regardless of whether it ever works out, regardless of whether she ever wants to be with you, regardless of whether your marriage can be saved or not, regardless, you have to choose to be the best you that you can. You would think that now I realize my marriage is a mess and I have a problem and I have to deal with this and I have to fix this. Yes, that's part of it. There are details that you're going to have to work on with that. But the first thing that has to change is you. Because here's the thing, you cannot change her, you cannot change her mind, you can change you. That's the only thing you can change. The only person on this planet that you can change is you. And if she says, I don't love you anymore, I want a divorce, you need to start asking some hard questions. If she cheated on you, or if she's just tired of you, or it's just too stressful, or maybe you've just been a complete jerk. All of those things are very real possibilities. And if you want it to get better, if you want any hope of it getting better, and you stay at this level in terms of who you are as a man, and you're at this level, and you never grow, and you never change, and you never proceed to become a better man, it's not going to get better for her, and it's not going to get better for you. So, I suggest, if she says she wants a divorce, you need to immediately respect what she's asking for and give her the space that she needs, and then you need to start working on you. If you're saying, I don't want a divorce, then tell her, I don't want a divorce. I understand that you do. Let's work on this. If she says, nope, I'm done, that's okay. Back up, give her space, work on you. Doesn't mean you have to give up on her. If you're going to have to give up on her, you'll know and it'll be clear. If she's done and she moves on and it's just gone, it's gone. But you work on you regardless. Because if it does come back, if she does come back, if she does decide she wants you, she wants a better man than what you are right now. And if you are a better man and she doesn't come back, you're man enough to handle that. That's my advice. So she says she wants a divorce. and you don't want a divorce, what should you do? Start by working on yourself and leveling up and becoming a better man. Don't do it for her, do it for you. Hopefully, things can come back together. You know, if you're a praying man, pray. Because you can't change her, you can change you. And even that you might need some help with. And I believe, if you pray, I believe there's a God that wants to make things better for you. And I do believe that God can help change her heart too, if she's willing and open to that. So I would say that definitely should be a factor. But if she's willing to get to see a marriage counselor, I will tell you this. If it gets to the point where you guys are using the D word, the divorce word, if you're using that, there is no forward movement without some counseling. I will say that right now. I would highly recommend seeing a couples counselor, walking through some of this with a professional, whether it's a pastor or just a marriage counselor or a therapist. Work through some of those issues, because if it's going to be saved, it's going to need that. It's going to need that extra focus and some professional help. And if it is to the place where it's just going to end and there's nothing you can do about it, talk to a lawyer. You know, you might need to make sure that you protect yourself. If you've got kids, you want to make sure that those kids always come first. Do not ever let a breakup ruin it for them. Stick around in their life in whatever way, in whatever capacity you can. So if you make sure they know that they are loved. If she's keeping them from you, then write them letters. If she doesn't let them see them, make a copy of the letter so that you've got them and they can see them later. But whatever you do, love those kids. If there's kids involved in this relationship, love those kids. Make sure they know that they're loved, no matter what. Okay? Anyway, guys, I know you're like, well, you've never been divorced. No, but I know a lot of guys that have, and I've talked to a lot of guys that have been in this spot. And this is the advice that they would say when they come on the other side of it. And I also know, my dad was divorced before he married my mom. And I know that he's talked a lot about the things that he regrets, the things he wished he would have done differently, and the things that he did right and that he modeled for me, like we talked about in our last segment. So I am familiar with some of these answers, even if I haven't lived it myself. I would say, if you're in a place, in any kind of relationship, guard against it. Do not use the D word. Make that illegal to say. If your relationship is going well, just say, hey, listen, let's make a pact. We're married. We're not going to get divorced. We're going to make it work no matter what. Make that pact and just drill that into your heads. And ask her for honest feedback. How am I doing, honey? If this was a test and I could get a grade A through F, how am I doing as a husband? She says F. Uh-oh, you got work to do. And if she says C minus, and you thought you were a B plus, C minus needs some work. So have that honest conversation with her. Don't come at her right away grading her unless she's asking for that. Okay? Just like if you're like, hey honey, how am I doing? Could you give me a letter grade? Am I an A? Am I a B? What do you think? And if she's like, oh, you're a C minus, don't get defensive and then give her an F or a C minus because you're mad. Be real and only give her the grade if she asks for it. But if your relationship is going well and divorce is not on your horizon, take some time to evaluate and work on it and grow it so that you don't get to that place. Love her. Love her. However it is that she needs that love to be shown, you love her. Honestly, guys, really, that's the truth. Even if you're getting divorced, love her. Because love is a choice. It is not a feeling. You might not feel in love, but that doesn't mean you don't love her. You choose to love her. Even if you feel like hating her, to love her, even if she leaves you and is not wants nothing to do with you or to ever see you again, you care. You choose to love her. You don't say bad things about her to the kids. You don't badmouth her to everybody on the planet. You show respect. You show love. Kindness. Might not be the same kind of love you want to have. That's okay. Still love. I think there's value to it. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to the Ask a Man segment here on the Manlihood ManCast. Remember, if you like the Manlihood ManCast, If you appreciate the stuff that we're giving you, I want you to go to the place that you're listening to this podcast, whether it's on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. If you're listening to it on Facebook, like it, share it. If you are listening to it on Anchor or on Apple or Spotify or wherever, please leave a review. Let them know that this is valuable to you, and then more people will see it. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks.